Here, Julie's here. So bring it in. Okay. This is, you guys are part of our collective Burnout All Out Hive. These guys have been in a number of different aspects of different parts of our community, and we're going to have fun really interviewing these guys. It's just a panel discussion. Each of them have had their own evolution, growth, breakthroughs, hive building, honey making, honeycomb building, foresting for the pollen, right? It's been a journey. And so we're just gonna bring some of your stories with the group. I've got my notes here. I've got an extra microphone here, Claire. I'm gonna give you this microphone, so we'll start with you. And if anybody sees Giselle come in, just flag her in and I'll give her a seat. So Claire, let's start with you. Because we talk about the hive and community and network, right? Because I know before coming into our community, you worked with one-on-one with a coach, which I've done, which is really transformational. What's been different about your growth this year, being in a group coaching program and like you're in the business basic? Tell everybody a little bit about the business, and then we'll talk about your growth and kind of group coaching and the business basics.
Hi everyone. So I am working on my elevator pitch. So let me see if I've got it down. I coach professionals through tactical and practical steps to go from being exhausted to energized, so that they can discover their true purpose in life. I loved what Karen said about true purpose, and you say this. And so I retired from corporate America 2 years ago and went out on my own, and it's very scary. I'm a recovered attorney, and we take some risks, but not really. And so I did what I thought was the right thing to do, and I spent a lot of money investing in myself with a one-to-one coach, and he is incredible. I grew so much, and I will never regret that almost year and a half I spent, but my business did not move forward. I had a lot of great ideas. I worked on mindset. I worked on a lot of things I needed to work on, but my business itself did not move forward. And I told people yesterday, investing in your course was the best business decision I was never going to make. And then doubling down in PPA is another great decision I was not going to make. And the reason is, what I got with both of those products and with you was you and the team. I got a group of people. I've been on my own. I didn't realize how isolated I was, and it came up yesterday. I remember a moment, the bathroom is behind my office in my house. I remember sitting at my desk, and I went and looked in the mirror in the bathroom, and I felt alone. I felt so alone. I had no one to bounce things off and ideas, and I didn't know if I was going crazy. And so what I got with the program is people behind me, and you deliver. You and the team deliver. And the most important thing I didn't realize I got was the community. And I reflected on this last night. I really think that every single person in this room truly wants me to succeed. And I want all of you to succeed, and we mean it. And I took to heart, I meditated this morning, and I took to heart what Sam said twice to us. Okay. I rise, we rise. And that's what being part of a group program does. And I was a lone wolf. I was not a team player before this, and I want in the team. So
I love that.
yes, I'm an agent. I don't just fight, I go on crusades.
So let me ask a follow-up question for the group, just so they can learn, like, what's really worked for you this year? Like, what's really worked for you in growing your business this year? What's worked?
For me?
Yeah.
Listening to people who know more than me. That's really hard for an 8 and an attorney, right? A lovely lady sitting over there called Jackie, who knows way more than me, and actually listening to her and trusting that she wants what's best for me, and being consistent, doing the work. So some tangible things. I did a launch last year of my core course, and my community was Facebook and Instagram, which my people are not there. The people I know in my heart that I'm here to help are not there. LinkedIn had been a space I played in as an attorney with a lot of business suits and a lot of straight back wrestling ditch face people, right? And so I listened to my intuition, and you popped up, and I told Jody this, she was so right yesterday. You popped up in my Facebook feed in the most beautiful outfit with colors, smiling. And I was like, ooh, I like her. What has she got? So Jody was right. So I have followed the methodology in the LinkedIn Method Academy, and I invested my time and my headspace and blocked out my calendar to do the work. You have to do the work. It's not just going to happen.
Can you say that one more time?
You have to do the work. You have to do the work.
Yes.
But it's fun, right? Yeah. But I just did a launch last month. It's still not where it's headed, right? I've got my goals for where my launches are headed. And my audience was completely different. It was LinkedIn. I would say probably 90% of the people who registered was from LinkedIn. And I had not met any of them prior to 2 months before. And they were engaged, and they asked questions, and they gave me feedback, and they're my people. And it felt so good. Like it felt so good. I'm on the right path. And it's because I did that work that you put out there. And so
we're not afraid to do the work. We just have to do work that works, right?
Yes.
So good. Thank you so much, Claire. So good. Let's go to Renee. If you don't mind passing the mic down. First of all, let's celebrate Renee. Renee officially became a 7-figure startup this year. Nobody knows your way, don't worry. Okay. So I know you're on the cusp of a big year in revenue. And first of all, before we dive into what's really worked for you this year, tell everybody a little bit about your business. And then let's get into what has created wild success for you this year in scaling your business.
Okay. Can y'all hear me? Oh, yes. Okay. Hi, my name is Lene. I'm an educational architect. I specialize in early childhood startup programming, grant funding, and I'm going to say something crazy right now. Energetics.
Yeah.
So this year, so that's my business. I do a lot of other things, but I want to say one thing. So this is a full circle moment for me, because 10 years ago, I walked into a room, not knowing anybody, on a recommendation from a friend. And in 30 minutes, what I thought I was getting business strategy, in 30 minutes, I was crying. And that started a journey for me of like transformation, which created my business, which is why I now have $1 million startup, because I did the work. But I'm here again in a room, laid on the floor yesterday, and I'm now a different person. I got up with clarity, and now I'm ready for the next cycle.
So good.
And it's been a part of this year.
Oh, so good. I love that. So Lene, you've had a year of growth. I mean, really the last 2 years. So Lene actually has been through LinkedIn Method Academy, went through Business Basics. You're in the mastermind. So we talked earlier about creating a vision for your client for the journey, right? And you've been on that journey. Now best-selling author with us, right? A lot of these guys would love to soak up. Like, what worked for you this year? Now you're on the cusp of like a 200K year, right? What's been working for you this year?
So what's been working is people that see me. Okay, I'm not hiding anymore. People, like, I'm letting people know who I am. Being vulnerable. And people are finding me when I hide. So so people are checking in on me. I'm a single mom. I'm a solo entrepreneur, but soon to not be, because I'll be building a team and scaling. But I've had people that have come and found me and challenged me and had conversations about how to grow my business, because I'm the first person in my immediate friend group and family to actually scale a successful, sustainable business that is financially sound. So that is really the big win.
So good. Anything else that you want to speak to? What I heard you just say, I want you to elaborate on. You've been found when you've hit. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Again?
You said that it's been finding.
Yeah. So I think, when you really connect with people and you're in something that you're all in together, right? We're all trying to get to this space together, and you build a community. When people really see you, they're gonna look, right? Like, where are you? I'm not seeing you on the Zooms. I'm not seeing you on the meeting. Like, are you coming today?
So that accountability piece.
Yeah. Are you coming today? Or are you're playing small?
Yes.
You're playing small here.
Yes.
You could do better.
Yes. Yeah. So good. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. I think that your journey's been really inspirational, and it's really cool to have seen your path through the community as well, and just the trajectory that you're on.
It really has changed my life. I'm serious about that. I've been with you now almost 2 years. Barely 2 years. I've been this year. And I'm just so grateful that I actually followed my heart to know, even though I didn't know all the steps and I didn't really fully process yet what was happening to me 2 years ago, I know I was ready for something leveled up. And I found you on Facebook. Our Facebook ad, which is hysterical, right? But I just took the first step. That's the thing. I took the first step, and then those other steps came a lot easier. And then I knew what I needed. I didn't know what I needed.
Yes.
I just knew I needed something.
Change, growth, something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, let's go to Melissa. So your journey's been fun too. You actually had the opportunity. So you talk about selling something and making. So I sold something called Unblock Your Business this year, and before I made it, and you were one of this. It was this is fun. I know. I can't wait to. We're gonna do like that thing. But I got certified in hypno breathwork this year, and a passion project was launching Unblock Your Business, and I launched it, and I told my community I'm doing this new thing. Who wants to sign up, right? And you raised your hand and joined my beta program for hypno breathwork with Unblock Your Business for 3 months. What was it that within you as an entrepreneur recognized, you know what, this inner work is actually something I need to lean into right now? And maybe for these guys who are starting something new, and maybe they have a new offering for their clients and they're kind of nervous about offering it to current clients, like, what made you decide? Let's start with what made you decide to do the inner work, and then I'm going to come back to what made you okay as a client jumping into something you knew I was doing it for the first time. We'll get back to that in a second, but let's just talk about what made you decide, you know what, this is what I need for my business and personal growth right now is the inner work. Yeah.
Well, I specialize in women's health and wellness, and I found personal development personally, maybe 6 years ago. And so I'd always been like a yoga person, learned to do different breath modalities and all that kind of stuff. But being an entrepreneur and launching a new online business, my health coaching was always in person. And so I was doing something new, and I found you in such a crazy way on Facebook. I'm never on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. And you immediately, maybe it's the Melissa connection, but I immediately like clicked with you. And I remember when I signed up for the academy and I clicked on that Facebook ad, the next morning I did it at like midnight. And the next morning I was like, what the hell did I do last night? Like, I can't even believe I paid for something. I don't even know who she is. And then I got started with the academy and I totally loved it. But I've always felt like there's something blocking me. And on paper, and I know I said this to you before, on paper I have, the perfect childhood. I had parents who were married, who were wonderful, did the best, right? And my dad had a great job, so I never wanted for anything. So I'm like, who am I to say that something's wrong? Nothing should be wrong with me. I didn't have any traumatic experience, but I knew there was something deep. I just didn't know what it was. And then I heard you talk about your experience with the hypno breathwork and how you had all these, major things happen. And I immediately wanted to do it. I was like, maybe going down this path, something will happen. But I'll be honest, like that first session, I remember in the back of my head being like, this works for other people. There's no way this is going to work for me. So I've never gotten there before doing the breath work. Like I've learned to calm myself down, but I had nothing interesting that ever happened. And the first session with you, I loved it. I got super relaxed, but nothing happened. And then the second session, I was like, holy shit, like what the hell? Like nothing had ever, like my whole body was shaking. And I uncovered some things in my childhood. I have a super type A mom raised by an Irish Catholic alcoholic father. She grew up in a house where there was always screaming and yelling. And she tried to do the best raising 2 kids. She was awesome, still awesome, but she didn't escape that. She had me at 21. She wasn't even a full ass adult, right? So I was raised in a house with a lot of, you had to do it the right way and look the right way and all this stuff. And I went back to a childhood memory that I didn't even know was there. And I remembered some things she said to me and I cried and it made me know, oh my God, I'm gonna get emotional. I learned that why I am who I am and why I've done the things I've done, which of course is not horrible, thank goodness, but why I haven't been the nicest person to my husband sometimes. Why do I, say things to my kids and then later think, why did you say that? Like I know now. It started a freaking long time ago. And now I need to repair it and heal. And yeah.
What has that process been like for you? And how has that impacted you, being able to shed light on it and move through it?
I'm not there yet. I'm still working on it. I think knowing that it's there, that's half the battle, I feel like. I had never really heard of an Enneagram until about 4 months ago or something when you talked about it. I'm going to do that with Tracy for sure, because I need to get down to some nitty-gritty here and figure some things out. And
so good though. So it's like we've been able to, through the breath work, get into a subconscious place that you've never been before and be able to grab it by its root and be like, okay, now I'm going to address this. And that's part of the clearing of the negative energy so that we can create space and path for higher energy and abundance and impact.
And you're so not a LinkedIn coach. Like when you said that, like that's what I signed up for. And I needed it, but I so much needed all this other stuff. And even if I hadn't done the breathwork thing, this academy, because I didn't come from corporate, I've always felt like an imposter. Like, who am I to be on LinkedIn getting executives to want to work with me? Like, who am I?
but you've made me feel like, yeah, heck yeah, I know a shit ton I can help these women with, right? So, yeah, you've given me everything I needed. I'm hanging my hat wherever you go, girl.
Well, so my final question is a follow-up for everyone who's considering like building a new offer. You were in the LinkedIn Method Academy. You knew it was something totally new. You knew I had just gotten certified, like it was something totally new. For those who are considering kind of launching something new for their clients, what made you decide to leap in? What gave you the confidence that you were going to invest in this brand new thing that never been done before?
Like when you were talking about it was so authentic. You were always so authentic. And you were vulnerable and, you told us, how it had affected you. And I was like, I want more of that. That's what I need. Like I need to go somewhere deep like that. And I just had a feeling you'd get me there.
So good. So what I'm gathering for you guys is storytelling, right? Is tell the story. If you're going to create a new offer, and it's especially something that you've created based off of your own experience, be vulnerable and share the story and how it's helped you overcome so that you can serve, right? Yeah. So good. All right, let's go to, thank you. Let's go to Julie. Yes. All right, I love this. So Julie, you're an executive coach yourself, right? Yes, executive leadership coach, and you're in personal development, right? And so my question for you is, because I talk about this, we're always taking our ceiling, making it our floor. You're already an executive leadership coach, right? You're already mentoring. What made you decide to pour into your own development this year with us? And what skills or knowledge have you gained to bring back to your community as a coach?
Is this on? You can hear me. This is a hard one. I am like an OG with Melissa. So, like, this morning when she said she made $1,200, I'm sure I was half of that.
You were.
So I talk about, I think she thinks of me when she thinks of her ascension model.
She's the OG ascension model. Can we just talk about
I've done everything.
She's been through my beta offer. She's been through all my programs, and she's a coach in my community.
Yes.
So if you're looking for folks to really help support your community and you're expanding, like those superstars who've done really well in your programs, talk to them about coaching inside the programs.
Which I love to do. So I'm the CEO and founder of the Legacy Leadership Academy, and I've just loved these last 2 days because all we're talking about is legacy, right? And that's what I believe so strongly in. And I teach women that the inner work is the work that makes the work work. And that's what everyone's been talking about today, right? So when Melissa approached me about the mastermind, I really hummed and hawed because I don't like to take up any space or if it's not going to be beneficial for both. It just blew me away this year. So I am a leadership coach. I've been a leader since I was born, right? I understand inner work. I understand mindset. But I don't know if Tracy's in the room. Like Tracy O'Malley, if you haven't worked with her, you need to. So I'm an Enneagram 2, right? I'm the helper. So it's not a surprise I'm a coach. That's why I love coaching in your academy. I thought I knew myself until I went through this last year. So I guess the biggest thing for me is the reminder that the work never ends and that even the most experienced leadership coaches, mindset coaches, whatever, need to keep honing and digging and on the mindset, body, spirit side, because every strategy works. Like you need a business strategy, don't get me wrong, they all work. It's the being, doing the doing that makes the difference. And that's why when I saw B, I'm like, it's supposed to be here.
Oh my gosh, it's so true.
Every Enneagram to answer it. It was like really digging down and what does my Enneagram need? I'm a 2, so my motivation is being loved and appreciated. So that can get really nasty, right? And we can do some really not so great things. Yeah. So just this whole mastermind year has brought me to the good side of the Enneagram 2.
Like the healthy side.
The healthy side, and I'm in my 4 a lot. And listen, I can be an 8. I can take you down like that.
And is that the unhealthy?
That's unhealthy too, we go to the
Okay.
bad side of 8, and I didn't know that until I, was in Arizona and really talking to Tracy.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so that's right, for Christmas. This is how I get presents. For Christmas, they all got an Enneagram assessment.
Yeah, I want my whole family to do it. They're all like, no, you're not doing this. But my daughter's an 8, so that was another really big thing to share on the personal side. We fought, she's 25, we have had such a rocky road until she realized and I realized she's an 8. Right, so I'm a 2, like when I'm in a bad space with her, I go to, and she wants to protect, anyway, so just knowing
Self-awareness.
different enneagrams in your family, oh my God,
Yes.
like her and I have a beautiful relationship now. So that alone, I got from Melissa's
Yeah, I love that.
programs.
I love that. So good. So good. Okay. So let's go to Giselle, who's got another attorney in the house. I'm gonna pass the mic down to Giselle. Giselle, really quick, tell everybody your business before we get into questions.
So I'm a corporate immigration attorney, learning about all of this.
Yes, okay, awesome. So, and you actually went kind of on a similar journey as Melissa, right? So you came in through the LinkedIn Method Academy to grow and scale your business and brand. You're a really, I think we're like sisters from another mother in the sense that you're just, you're a go-getter, very active, very goal-setting, very driven. And what was the breakthrough for you that, I'm focusing on strategy, but maybe I need to pump the brakes a little bit and do some inner work?
So kind of going back a little bit of history for all of you. I'm a triathlete, marathoner, Ironman, and an attorney. Decided this year, because I've watched what you have done, which is so inspiring. So kudos to you for everything that you're doing. That I wanted to grow my traditional corporate immigration practice and create an academy to teach HR professionals, in-house counsels about what they need to know, the basics of immigration so that they can do their jobs better. But I have no idea what to do, so that's why I'm here. That's it. It's me. I'm juggling 2 jobs, and I also have all these goals. I ran the Antarctica Marathon and the Sydney Marathon this year because I want to do 7 continents marathons. We'll be next year checked. In the process, though, I mean, we're experiencing a different world, and a team that I thought was solid was not. And there's quiet, disengagement, quiet. My legal assistant literally said to me the week before I left for Sydney, which was I ran the Sydney Marathon September 17th. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I'm like, okay, hire fast. Hire fast.
Hire slow.
Hire
fast.
slow, fire fast. Well, she kind of left herself, and that was fast. A week later, I'm in Sydney. In the meantime, also my paralegal another paralegal had left before, and this is kind of what I began with your breath work, because I thought I need something to quiet my mind. How many of you lie in bed at night and your brain just goes and goes and goes and goes? And so, to me, it's like constant. Or you read that email, you get that phone call, and your stomach is just like upside down. And that's kind of what I've been really this year. And that's part of growth too. I keep on saying to myself, if you want to grow, become comfortable with the uncomfortable. But at the same time, you need to manage your mind. And I have never done breath work before. It was completely new to me. And I thought, that you're doing amazing things. And if I can just grab a little bit of that to help me keep moving forward, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So I signed up, and I'm so glad I did. I'm doing breath work now, not as diligently as I should, but I am. And I'm very, very grateful for it. And then I hire a paralegal before I left for Sydney, got her started because I think, well, at least, someone is gonna be able to help the team. Have you ever fired anybody after they've been a month with you and you're abroad? Well, I fired her from Sydney. Well, it was just hire. I mean, I just could not. It was just not working out, and it was also affecting the rest of my team. I did a lot of breath work in Sydney.
Well, that's what's gonna be my follow-up question is, do you feel like you now have a set of tools in your tool belt when you become overwhelmed as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, absolutely, and I frankly, it even helped me with the Sydney Marathon.
Yeah.
So I didn't go into the marathon with any specific goals in time. People ask me, oh, what's your goal time? Da, 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 da. I was just like, everything that was going on in my life at that point, I was just like, if I finish with a smile on my face, I will be thrilled. Well, half marathon, my time was enough that I could make it under 4 hours. And I thought, maybe if I just focus, breathe, 1 mile at a time, one step at a time. Mile 18, my foot started hurting, marathon it was 80 degrees in Sydney, which is hot for a marathon. And it's hilly, and it's not a course that I knew. Of course, I've never been in Sydney before in my life. And mile 18, this thing, my ankle started bothering me. I was like, oh my gosh, no. We're making 4 hours. At this point, I mean, I had the time, if I could just control my mind to make it. And sure enough, 3:58.
Oh my God. I love that. I love this. Was anybody here last year with Ati who spoke? So Ati did a half Ironman, and I was working one-on-one with her and was coaching her through the manifestation that you guys went through yesterday. And she said no, she did the manifestation work the whole time she was running. She was visualizing like works, and she shaved 2 total minutes per mile, like off her mile pace she'd ever run. So it's so incredible.
It works. And again, thank you to you. I had no expectations whatsoever. And when I crossed that, if you see my picture, I was just like,
was there a smile? Thank you. Yes, so good. Well, I hope you guys are seeing just the value of incorporating the internal work, the breath, having a tool set when you're stressed out, whether it's at work, managing, firing, hiring, or in the endurance of a race, how this inner work can really help you from an energetic perspective. So good. All right, let's go to Judy. So Judy, you're magical in the sense that you're a real estate agent that's really gotten into investing. And you have really evolved this past year. You actually are you've been in our mastermind before. You also have kind of come through the ropes of the program. I would love for you to share with everybody. I tell people this all the time, like we all join communities for different reasons, whether like this year, I'm really in the community I'm in for the one-on-one coaching with the coach that I'm with, right? And to be around my mastermind members that we were kind of, what do we say, like renewal mastermind members, my OGs, right? Like the time together, but we go into things for different reasons. And I know for you, the community aspect has been really, really important. And I know, Lene, you hit on this, just like not being alone, but being accountable, but also getting into a community for growth, right? Can you speak, because I've witnessed your growth. Jody was doing your photo shoot. She said, so Jody's done 2 photo shoots with our mastermind members, and she did photos with you. Oh, I just pulled my hair out. She did a photo with you in January or February in Arizona, and then another photo shoot later this year. And Jody was like, Judy's a completely different person, right? Yes.
It's like, what is it? It's what?
I said this program.
I'm just in awe of your growth and your vision and impact for what you can do to educate other folks like me on investing in real estate. Can you just talk about your own personal growth in your journey this past year to really inspire these guys how much they can evolve and their own personal growth this year?
So I'm a real estate investor, coach, and agent. And when I started this program a year ago, I climbed the corporate ladder and I got involved in investing when I was really young, in my 20s. And throughout my career, those investment properties really helped me to get residual income and passive income that I could use to do what I love the most, which is traveling. And you can read more about that in my chapter. But so when I got out of the corporate world, it was a natural path for me to go into real estate. I got my license, and for 5 or 6 years, I was just doing the traditional, real estate agent route where I was helping people buy and sell properties in Austin. But coming into this mastermind really transformed my business. And to me, the mastermind has been really about 3 things. One is clarity. When I started a year ago, I was an investor for myself and an agent, but I realized that what I really loved is helping investors, and that's the aspect of real estate that I love the most. So through the coaching and the program, you all gave me just this bigger mindset of what I could really do, and that's the coaching piece. So I've evolved my business to become a real estate coach. And what I really focus on is helping aspiring investors, primarily women, but it could be men also, but helping people who want to get started. And I know we're all super busy. So when we try to think about, and Kara and Mike talked about this a little bit, but it's really hard to kind of know how to get started. So my goal is to really help people kind of who are overwhelmed figure out where to go and how to get from point A to really start point B and starting their journey into real estate investing. So clarity has been a big part of this program for me. And then you mentioned community, and I know Claire and Lene, a couple of other folks on the stage have talked about the community. Like Claire, being an agent, I work from my house, and so it can get really lonely when you're working by yourself and you're in a silo. And to come in every week and have coaching and just the wonderful friendships that I've made in this program, knowing that you've got people that you can bounce ideas off of and get you to that next level has been super, super important to me. And then the other thing is just about commitment. It's again, working alone, it's really hard to get motivated sometimes. And just knowing that you've got calls and breath work and coaching and hot seats with Melissa that really hold you accountable for, coming in and committing to your business on a weekly basis has just been so helpful for me.
Well, and you guys are the ones showing up, right? Showing up. So good. Well, and it's so timely. If any of you guys really heard Mike and Kara and you're like, gosh, I really need to start learning and turning over a new leaf and looking into real estate. So this one right here for your first investment, right?
Yes, I'll be launching a one-on-one coaching program and a VIP day in early 2024.
Yes. Okay, let's go to Jean. My friend Jean, you have a really interesting business and passion, end of life planning. It's really, yeah.
Yeah, so right before the pandemic, my brother and I'm two of my brother and I, so I'm one of six siblings, and so luckily we share all of the duties with helping out and stuff. And so my brother and I are both executors and all that with my parents, their estate and everything. And so I realized as we were going through all of that there was really no one place where we could get everything we needed. So during COVID, this business idea launched. And so I have been working with that. And yesterday, during the breathwork session, I was like, part of the reason I did not unblock your business is because something was holding me back. I couldn't figure out what it was. And so yesterday, when we did the breathwork, I realized that I had been so scared of dying that I have not been full out living. And so now I have this breakthrough in why now you need to do your end of life planning, because it will allow you to live. So now I feel so comfortable in giving the message. So,
So powerful.
yeah.
So good, so good. Well, as it pertains to your growth in launching this business this past year, so you've done LinkedIn Method Academy, you're in Business Basics right now. And I know in Business Basics, we teach you guys how to build out certain digital products. Is there anything that these guys you could shed light on for them that's giving you a jump start, things that you've built, things that you've done that are really helping you grow and scale your business this year?
Well, the Business Basics class, and we're in month 4. So when I started with LinkedIn, I did the LinkedIn Academy thing, and I knew I wasn't quite ready because this business was still in my head, and I thought, I know I'm going to be ready, but I wasn't going to be ready yet. But then I was watching Melissa, and I'm like, oh, she likes to give those fast back bonuses. So I'll attend the next time, and then I'll get the fast back bonus. So then I get this email over, on the Friday, Black Friday. It's like, hey, if you sign up now, you get this bonus. And I was like, okay, now I think I'm ready. So I signed up for it. And then I listened to a podcast, and I was like, wow, I really like her meditations. So I sent a text, and I'm like, because she said, ding me if you want the meditation. So I ding her. And I think Allie responds back. She's like, and Melissa's going to get back to you. We're working on it, whatever. So like a couple of days later, in my messenger, there's a voice message from Melissa. And I haven't even taken her course yet. She's like, hey, Jean, I'm so glad you wanted to do the meditation. Here's the one I use. And she's like, oh, this is Melissa, by the way. And I'm like, really? I was like, oh my God, anybody that's going to send me a voice message, like, I am totally signing up. So,
And I'm so dumb. I'm like, this is Melissa, even though it's like me.
So when I started the Business Basics class, though, that class has been so much work, but it's been so helpful for me because we started on our brand. We went into what our container was. And so it's really helped me to stay focused. And the thing that I was really learning is because starting a new business is like, I want to have the website, I want to have the podcast, I want to have this, I want to have that. And so when Jackie said, do one thing and do it good, and then go on to the next thing, I feel like that's the one thing I've really learned from that class.
Yeah, just do the one thing.
Do the one thing.
Then move on to the next thing and not let it just swarm over here with the overwhelm.
And the community. Community has been, we're going to do a Business Basics photo, I think, after this session.
I love that. All right, let's go to Dr. Lee right beside. Oh my gosh. So Dr. Lee, you and I have been kind of connected through LinkedIn for like a decade, probably. Yeah.
So Melissa and I have a similar background. I actually worked in pharma. I have a PhD, I'm a neuroscientist. And I did the hamster wheel at run. I was traveling all the time. I'm a single parent. And I hired a coach to help me kind of put my goals together about what did I want to do in my life. And one was when my daughter hit high school, I would be home for her. So I quit my job and went back to teaching, which was adjunct, a lot of money. And then like, okay, well, what else can I do with my background? So I became a recruiter. And I placed people in pharma and biotech. And about that time, Melissa started the LinkedIn Academy. And like, well, I'm on LinkedIn every day. I have to network with people. Maybe I can learn something about how to pick out the right people, connect with them, build my network, find those great candidates and place them in great jobs. And so I had maybe 1,000 people, I have over 11,000 people now.
Wow.
So it's really effective if you're very consistent. And as a recruiter, I was on there all the day. You know, probably not going to do that, but finding the right kind of people. I actually had my ideal clients in hand before I started my career coaching business. So I'm now the CEO of a career coaching business called Career Catalyst Edge. So last year, about this time, I went all in on my business, and I have been able to not go back to a W-2 job for a year. So celebrating that. And I also, a little over a year ago, went to a conference investing in myself and met a lady who said, you need to publish your story. So later in life, I found out that I had ADHD. So I'm a neurodivergent neuroscientist. I also parent a kid with ADHD, dyslexia, and dyscalculia, which is a math learning disability. So most people haven't heard about it, but it's almost as prevalent as dyslexia, and 25% of people with ADHD struggle with math learning disability, and they're never evaluated for that. So that's my PSA for today. I published my story. It's called Inside My ADHD Brain, Cycling from Toxic Overwhelm to Creative Synergy. And it's in a book called She's an Overcomer. So it's 31 women telling about their stories of overcoming through faith. So big things with starting a business, being an international bestseller. I'm also a caregiver for my mom. And I also have, just last year, launched my child off into college out of state. So I'm dealing with empty nest stuff. So Melissa had the opportunity to the hypnobreath work. But I'm a neuroscientist. This is just a great tool to learn, regulate the nervous system. And in the middle of this process, I got a call saying, your dad's in the hospital. And we're talking about end of life care now. So I didn't know that I needed this. So sometimes God, whatever you believe in, puts things in place for when you need them. So I was able to use that process to really tap into what did I need for myself. And the day I got that call, I had clients scheduled, and I sat down on my couch and was about to go up to my office and get on all those calls. And I'm like, no, you need a day to grieve. You need to take time for your family and be present for what they need from you. And so I just rescheduled it. Like, I'm the boss of me. This is my business. I'm giving myself a mental health day. So when you get into the schedule, run, and you had said that, you need a business that burns yourself out. And I'm like, that's what I learned from you about the way I want to run my business. It needs to be brain friendly, something that my ADHD brain can maintain and sustain. And that there are going to be days where you just need to take care of yourself. And having these great tools to regulate your nervous system allows you to reset. And we've all been under huge stress with the pandemic. I mean, we are everybody in need of doing this. And I actually use these techniques with a nonprofit that somebody started for young girls whose moms are incarcerated in jail. It's called Beauty Marks for Girls. So I'm passing forward that information to other people. So just want to thank you for what you do. And it's really been impactful.
So good. Thank you so much for sharing with me. Such an inspiration for a lot of people too. So good. All right, last but not least, Miss Pam.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for the end on purpose. So extra dose of energy at almost all times of my day, and I'm happy to share it.
Yes. So Pam, first of all, before we get into what I would love for Pam to dive into, because you became a bestseller this year, you were able to tell your story. But before we do that, really quickly, like what is your business? And then let's get into your journey around telling your story this year. She's in the book. A lot of these guys are in the book, but
Chapter 17, because I always wanted to be on the 17 magazine cover, so thank you, Danielle.
she will sign you later this afternoon. You'll sign your chapter. Yeah.
Okay, my name is Pam Carey. My friends call me Pam Possible. And I'm a wellness entrepreneur, and I have been partnered with the same brand for over 50 years. My grandmother brought products to my mom. Grew up in Buffalo, New York. As a little girl, she brought products to my mom and said, take these products and they will help you have a healthy food. So my mom did. And I graduated from Cornell University. I moved to Chicago, and I worked for Aldi for the food store when they were first starting to grow. When you're Aldi fans, and I became the vice president of corporate purchasing and left there after an 11-year career. I had no babies for the first 8 years. I married like right out of college. No babies for the first 8 years, saved my money, lived off one income. My husband's income and saved mine, so that money, 25 years later, is helping us today. And I traded my briefcase for a diaper bag and for 2 children, and started helping my mom friends learn about how to keep their kids healthy, because that's what I did. I fell into a wellness business. I wasn't looking to work. I was going to stay home and watch Oprah and bonbons with my kids. And I quickly had 3 more kids, and they're almost 20 to 28 now. And I am really passionate about helping people. I love people. If you meet me and spend any time with me, you will know that I just love you. And I believe there's good in everybody, and everyone in this room has a story and a purpose to be here. And you have goodness in you. You just gotta find your path. So figure out what you're meant to be, and you'll be it. But I want you to be healthy along the way. I help people stay young at 80 instead of being old at 50. And I, a few years ago, had my blood work done, and I was 56 at the time, and my blood work was 32. And I'm telling you that there's not a lot of regulation in the supplement industry. And I want to get loud about that, because people don't know that. The most expensive vitamin is one that doesn't work. And I will help you. And I'm just doing some through Melissa's programs and her incredible team. I'm building my brand. I built my brand.
Yes, you have.
Called Can Possible. And I have a brand partner who makes the products, but I'm the face of the brand, and you and your team help me step forward and be the face of a powerful brand. And I will help you with everything that you need to be healthy, and I want to pour health into you. And I'm doing some disruptive and transformative strategies. I'm looking to connect with holistic healthcare providers. This is how you can help me. Because I know that through the pandemic, there's a lot of healthcare providers who are frustrated with traditional ways of healthcare. They had to be home sometimes with their kids. They have a degree, they know about the body, they can help you be healthy, but they don't have access to fully proven supplements that work. Because there's little regulation, right? So you got to get the good ones. So I can help with that. That's what I'm working on. That's the story behind my brand and where it came from. So good. So you have a question?
Yes. Yeah, so you got a chance to tell your story this year. Put your pen to paper. It's published. It's in a lot of people's hands right now. What was that journey like?
It was the most difficult thing that I've almost ever done. And if you ask Danielle, I owe her a lot, because she held my hand through the entire process. One of the benefits of being in the mastermind is that you get the opportunity to become a best-selling author and tell your story, and we all have stories to tell. And when we met for the first time together in person, and I met these lovelies, along with the other 16 lovelies that make up the mastermind, we're lifetime friends now, that's a bonus. They talked about writing this book, and I was like, yeah, you know. And then Danielle's like, well, we're gonna sit down and do some breath work, and then we're gonna. And I'm like, really? That's good. I take a nap usually like that. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, okay, so you're gonna write your story down. A lot to say always, but I'm writing it down. And you know why? I want to tell you why. When I was about 10 years old, I had one of those slate gray safes with a big red dial on it that you keep your most important treasures in as a 10-year-old. And in there was my diary. And in my diary, I wrote about this boy named Bobby. And he was blonde and lovely and cute, and we would make eyes at each other at school. And I wrote about him in my diary, and I put it in my safe. And my brother one day broke into my safe and read my diary and decided it was a good idea to share that at dinner, that I liked Bobby. And I was terrified by that. And ever since then, being 10 years old, so I'm going to be 60 next year. So for 50 years, I've been paralyzed to do any kind of journaling. And I have a bookcase full of beautiful journals that people have bought me that are all empty. For the plain old fear to not write something down, for the fear that somebody would read that. Isn't it terrible? That's terrible. And so I'm blessed by this mastermind to help me get my story on paper And if you're paralyzed in journaling, you know, there's a way out. And Danielle helped me, and her creative processing course that I took is excellent. And she helped me to get it on paper. And I flow my thoughts out of my pen now and in my paper. And I'm really proud of my story. It's a story of going through the valleys so you can appreciate the view from the mountaintops. And I really hope you find your the book and get your hands on it and find my chapter and read it. It's titled Love Makes All Things Possible. And it's through this mastermind, and I've never invested in myself at this level. It came as a gift from my late father before he passed away. He gave me money and asked me to please do something for myself. Because I too am an Enneagram 2, and everybody comes first. And the burnt piece of pizza and the crummy brownie is perfectly fine for me. I'll be fine. Fine stands for feelings in need of expression. So you're not fine. When somebody tells you they're fine, they're not fine. So I just want to say, if you're, you know, the mastermind has been a thing for me, and my dad was with me yesterday in the breathwork, and I was shuddering all of a sudden, shuddering. And I know that he's proud of me, and this is a full circle moment for me from my father, because I invested in myself, and I am Pam Possible, and my brain's out there, and I would love to help you.
You guys are all so amazing. I hope that, are these guys inspirational to you? Everything they've done, so good, so good. I'm gonna actually ask our mastermind folks to stay, and I'm gonna, if you guys are okay, I'll ask you guys to exit. We have something a little fun to give out and recognize for our mastermind folks. Guys, thank you so much. Let's see, I want to call up the rest of our mastermind folks. Who's not up here? Anjali, Laurel, Noelle, Chris, Maeda, Michelle, all our mastermind members. Actually, let's come down here because we're not going to be able to fit well, you guys can all stand. Just come up here. Yeah. Princess, Sarah, Kristen, all you guys, you know who you are. We've got a little gift for you guys. Come on. Are we missing anybody? Pam, Judy, Stephanie? Come on up, Sarah. Okay. Do we have everybody? Princess, where's Princess? Okay, you guys stand up. I'll stand down here because I want to be able to do this. Okay, these guys, this is your moment. I've got like chills even thinking about this. So we talked a lot about the hive and the Burnout to All Out hive, you know, building that community, building impact, creating the honeycomb, the honey in your own business, right? You guys are like the pinnacle of the Burnout to All Out hive. And you guys have done so much work this year on yourselves and on your businesses. And then I look at each one of your faces individually. What I see is the ripple effect and the impact. You guys are you're jumping out of the hive, becoming the king and queen bees of your own hives, and taking with you a little piece of the Burnout to All Out community so that you can go build your empire and start pollinating and impacting in each one of your zones of genius, creating this positive ripple effect across the world. I had visions of it this morning while I was meditating, just this vision of these bees just like taking off and building these new hives. And with that, I have a gift to celebrate each of you guys. And you guys are gonna have some time this afternoon after lunch where you're gonna get a chance, if you've gotten a book, you can go purchase the book. They're going to do a book signing, and you're going to you can read their individual stories about what it truly means to them to live all out. And with that, I have a special gift for you guys from my hive to your hive. I've got a little gift from White for you guys to take with you. Yes, congratulations, you guys. It's so amazing. You guys are getting a honeycomb piercing. Now, you're getting a pin for a jacket. Okay? But for the rest of you guys, we've got a picture of it. It's the honeycomb with the diamond in it, and it's to constantly remind you that you'll always be a part of the Burnout Tall Out Hive. And I want this just to remind you of the impact that you're making, right? So I'll start with you, Stephanie. Here you go, Stephanie. Congratulations. And Sarah. My Ava. Hi, Julie. Which one's Princess? Do y'all know? I don't want to give them the wrong ones. Yours is still being shipped, so just know that there might be a picture of what you're getting. Good job. You guys, this is the 2023 Congratulations, you guys. And Aisha has a pierced. It's a third hole. If you don't have one, you get it pierced. Okay, so I'm just telling you. So congratulations. Yes. So we're at 15. Will you guys be back at 12:15 for our final session before we wrap up for lunch? Okay, right? 12:15 or 10 after 12. 10 after 12. Let's get a picture. Well, one thing I do. Okay. Yeah, Lisa will help you. Yeah. Something like that, yeah, exactly.
Sadie, will you take a picture of me holding a microphone up there? I'm not. Thank you.
Yeah, so it just says. Sorry. Oh, so we are, okay, I just stopped recording. You wanna end here?